Good day, good day, good day. Let me just say welcome to the show. My dear co host will be joining us shortly. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you for being here. Um, we are excited about another amazing stream and some good conversations with Uncle T. First of all, how's everybody doing? Hope all is well. Hope you have had an amazing week and that things are well with you. Things are well with me. I'm glad you asked. And really interested in some of the conversation that we're going to have today. Um, just knowing that we're all living in a very fast paced world right now. We're going to have some conversations that kind of hopefully slow us down and ask the question, what if? We've been talking about this in modern day times with the things that we're experiencing and how rapidly things change. I was thinking the other day, I said, what if this happened? Or what if that happened? How prepared are we? How prepared is the average person if the unthinkable should happen? Now, of course, we all want to believe that that day will never really happen to us. But the fact of the matter is, the what if day, which can consist of a lot of things, is probably more likely than not to happen. What do I mean by that? It's probably more likely that something you did not expect in the government to happen than not. It's probably more likely that we have a situation that we never thought would come to us is possible. And the real question is not what life is doing to you. The question is, how are you reacting to life? And so it's not always about the thing itself, but how prepared are we to act on that thing? So with that, I'm going to bring my main co-host, Mr. Matt Berry, in with me. And we're going to have some discussion tonight about what if. Okay? Matthew Berry, what's good with you, man?
Man,
I see you looking at that spot.
I am. You know what?
Now, the funny thing is, I didn't see that in your preview shot.
Yeah,
There you go. Make a quick fade adjustment there. Not
yeah,
sure what that is. I do see it in your preview now.
yeah.
Check your fades.
hmm
Just kind of getting things queued up to have this discussion around the what if. Um, we're experiencing that right here. Like, what if Matt's background didn't act right? What would we do? What if we couldn't finally get this thing to sync up right? What if is a very real thing. Um, I'm going to let Matt step back and take a look at that again, and I'll bring him back in as I cue up the rest of this conversation. So, tonight we're going to talk about the what if, and more importantly, I'm going to kind of focus in the area of my expertise, which is communication. I think anybody who knows me knows that I am a technology driven individual, specifically around wireless communication being my background. And tonight I'm going to introduce to you guys um, an actual product that I'm going to be offering to the public that will address the what if moment for your communication. Let's see if my man Matt is ready to get back into this here.
Bingo.
Oh yeah, looking good. You got it together?
Got it together.
All right, ain't nothing like being together.
No, well.
So, as we were saying, we are looking at the topic of what if.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think that most of us don't want to deal with a catastrophic situation in our lives. And
Absolutely.
more importantly, we don't want to believe that that thing could come to us. But the simple fact of the matter is it could. And therefore, the only way to change the impact of having a what if moment is to be prepared.
Right.
Um, the what if moment could be a lot of things. It could be, as I mentioned, Matt, to them, it could be a change in the government that we never thought was possible. It could be something catastrophic that ends up on our doorstep. It could be the doctor's report that we never thought was happening, that was possible. The what if moment can arrive at any time. And in most cases throughout life, it's not a what if, it's a when. It's not an
Mm-hmm.
if, it's a when.
Mm-hmm.
And so what life has taught me is that the best way to deal with a what if moment is preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you encounter this moment, you are prepared to deal with it. And so, as I was saying, one of the areas of my expertise is wireless communication. And tonight, I'm going to kind of wrap that into our subject as I am also launching a new company called My Wireless Life and launching a product called Cascom Radios. Um, it was birthed out of the concept of what if. What if something were to happen to our communications? The very thing that we depend on, rely upon, live by, work by, everything is about our cell phones and our ability to communicate and connect. Many of our jobs are based on the fact that cellular phones exist, and to be without them literally could be catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, Matt, when you have a what if moment, your concern is not so much about the job, but our loved ones. You
Right.
want to know, are they safe? Can I reach them? Can
Right.
I get to them? Right?
Right. Right.
And that becomes a serious topic when it happens. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is, without some preparation prior to getting there, you're really in a bad situation. It is the most agonizing thing in the world. Imagine the parent whose child doesn't come home from school. Now, amplify that 5, 6, 7 times if none of the people that you love are reachable. So, that is where we really take it when we think about a what if moment for communications. Everything changes when I know you're okay. Everything changes when I can just hear your voice, know that you're
Mm-hmm.
safe, and
Mm-hmm.
then we can work on plan B.
Mm-hmm.
But until we plan accordingly, or unless we plan accordingly, a catastrophic moment could tie us up at any moment, and the very thing that we depend upon, our cell phones, could be gone in a flash. It's the one thing that we think is going to keep us safe. And in most cases, it will. But there are issues with the system that can still leave us in a place of vulnerability. And so tonight I want to talk about that a little bit. And I want to talk about my new company, My Wireless Life, that I'm launching April 1, that will address this with a set of communication tools that complement cellular, that take you beyond the cellular communications and provide you with redundancy levels of connection, which is what it's all about. Because if your cell phone goes down, it's probably because the network that you are on, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, has gone down,
Mm-hmm.
possibly in that
Mm-hmm.
area, possibly nationwide. But if your phone could connect to any cell site, any network, your chances of being down would drop significantly. you would instantly be able to talk to anybody, because if one site was down, your cell phone could then connect to the next. Well, there are tools that will actually allow you to do that. And I have a product line called Cascom radios that use LTE networks and can use all of the cell phone carriers at once. So it
So
reduces
so
your ability, it reduces your ability to fail when you want to connect. Go ahead, Matt.
so let's go back because you 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 kind of used a jargon that people may not know what that is. When you say LTE, what is
Yeah.
that?
So LTE is a portion of the cellular network. We're all familiar with 5G right now.
Right, right.
But LTE was simply the 4G network. So when we added 5G, we didn't tear down 4G and make it go away. 4G, or LTE, is the core network. It's everywhere. And when we basically brought in 5G, we added it to areas of the 4G network. 5G is not everywhere. 4G is everywhere. 5G sits on top.
So what does
So
that LTE stand
we
for?
have devices that are part of the network that is everywhere. Stands for long-term evolution, means nothing to
Got
the
it.
average person. What it
Yeah.
means to us is it's the name that we gave 4G. Stands for long-term evolution. It's a technology name that really speaks more to the technology and engineers and people on the back end. To the average citizen, that just means it's the 4G network, and 4G, as we know, was better than 3G. 3G was better than 2G because it was faster and it was better, and that is still the case. LTE or 4G, they're synonymous, is a portion of the network that gives us certain levels of speed, but something unique about it is the biggest part of the network. When they came to develop 5G, they never intended to tear away the 4G. They were only going to add 5G super fast on top of certain areas. So there is a use for this LTE network, and we are using it with our radio systems because it uses the biggest, best part of the network. And so that's allowing us to do some unique things that other devices can't do. And that is literally be in areas of the country, nooks and crannies that maybe a 5G radio wouldn't work.
Alrighty.
So that's a
I
good
think we
thing.
are about to come up.
Yeah, you're echoing me here. Give me 1 second. What I'm going to do is give a brief presentation that will explain this technology and ultimately give you guys a better understanding of this LTE two-way radio system. This is a very popular, becoming very popular technology that, again, brings a set of two-way radios to the average user, to businesses, to various different user groups, construction, delivery. It's a great tool for anyone needing to communicate one-to-one or one-to-many within a group. And so, as we talk about a what if moment, I want us to think about, what if we wake up one morning and our cell phones don't work and we need to reach our loved ones? What if something catastrophic happens in the city that you're in and you need to reach your immediate loved ones? And what if your particular cell phones might be up, some might be up, some might be down. We've had a situation like that where, depending on whose network you were on, recently there was an AT&T outage last year to where AT&T phones didn't work. And then I think shortly behind that, you're up now, the Verizon phones didn't work. So it just depended on the network as to who was working and who wasn't. Now that can be very frustrating because that means that you could be on one side of town and you're an AT&T customer. Your mom could be on another side of town and she's a Verizon. Your phone's not working. You can't get to mom. Her phone's working. She can't get to you simply because you're a part of a network that's down. So having redundancy, three network connections on a device changes the game. In that particular situation, your phone would not work, but your two-way radio would search and find a network that did. It would connect, and if your mother had a device on her end, it would allow you guys to have instant two-way communication, walkie-talkie type communication.
Right.
We've simply taken the walkie-talkies that we played with Matt and extended them nationwide, even internationally. These radios can be provisioned to work internationally. You can be in Mexico, I can be in the United States. You can be in Canada, you can be abroad in various countries, and I can be in the United States and we can still have communication. What a lot of people may not know is my co-host Matt is sitting in Dallas. I'm in Atlanta. And one of the ways that we talk behind the scenes is actually over one of my two-way radios. And so, Matt, can you hear me over there?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. So
Just like that,
Matt's in
Dallas.
Dallas. I'm in Atlanta. And we're talking
clear as a bell.
That is
a level of communication
that you would have
nationwide.
Pretty impressive stuff. Not your kitty walkie-talkies that you had that if you went outside to next door and down the street too far, your range was over, right?
Right.
So here's something with practically unlimited range. Those radios sound just like that anywhere in the country. You can be in Los Angeles, I can be in New York, and that communication will sound just that clear.
Yeah, because just about a month ago, I was in Arkansas and reached out to you via this. Yeah, yeah. So and I know one of the things, I think you've already mentioned it, but I think it's good to kind of drive it home, especially for the listening audience. Those of you who have kids, you have grandkids. Uncle T and I was talking about this earlier. It's a crazy time right now. School shootings are happening often. So now just think about this. That's a what if moment. If there's a school shooting,
it ain't gonna be at my kid's school. And it never fails. I see the news, and it's some little small town, and I hear them say, "We never had anything like that happen in this town."
Yeah.
Right? What if?
Right. Yeah, and say your kid. Well, let me go back because we talked about this first. Is that they were talking about? TC said that they are talking about not allowing cell phones in schools any longer, because it's a distraction for kids. They're playing on their phones. So if it ever gets to the point to where cell phones are no longer allowed in schools, this would come in very, very handy for your child, because your child is not going to sit up and play on a walkie-talkie. There's no games on this. It's going to be strictly so that your child can communicate with you in the event that there is an emergency. Or maybe it's after school and your child is standing outside waiting on you and you haven't shown up on time like you normally do. Your child can reach out and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm out here waiting. Where are you?" And you can reach back to your kid and say, "Hey, I'm on my way. I'm 5 minutes away." But if it's a school shooting and there are no phones in the school and your kid has this, your child has a way of communicating with you. This is very, very powerful. Very powerful too. Yeah. Listen, I really love it. I'm gonna do this. TC sent me this one. But
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I get one in my wife's hand, both my daughters and my grandson.
Yeah.
It's important that they have the people that you love, the people that are closest to you, the people that you communicate with on the regular need this. Even if
Yeah.
you don't use it right now, you
Mm-hmm.
never know. The
Yeah.
what if moment, you
What
never
if?
know.
And
I've
you can
been
throw it in
cat.
the glove compartment.
Mine's
Just
been
have it ready. You
Mine
keep those in
has
the car, right?
I keep this in the car. It's in my
Yep.
armrest. It sure
Yep.
does. And you can charge it. I plug it
Just go
into
USB-C. Just a
USB-C.
USB-C.
I plug it right there in the car and charge it in the car. So you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool, and what it really does is, out of the crazy world of social media and data and all of this stuff that we're doing on the internet, it takes us back to the core communication methods called voice, something that we've
Yeah.
lost. Our kids don't even use voice. Our kids don't even use a cell phone. This is grounding us back to voice. So Anita already brought up the last system that was successful that did this was called Nextel. For
Yep.
those of
That's
us that
right.
are a little bit older, we remember
That's
that
right.
little chirp chirp, right?
Right. Right.
Here's the difference. Nextel in the 90s tried to build out their own network. So they were out competing with the cell phone networks, which are 10 times their size. They were going to build their own network out, and they did a pretty good job. And they had devices that combined cellular phone and two-way radio.
Right.
It lasted a good 5, 6 years
Wasn't
before some
long.
bad, yeah, bad management messed it up, and then it got purchased into Sprint. Sprint messed it up even further. But the simple fact of the matter was, what Nextel didn't have is three carrier redundancy. If you were on the Nextel network and the Nextel network got blew up, all the Nextel phones would go off.
Oh.
On the device that I'm talking about, if you've got my Cascom device and they take down T-Mobile's network, it switches and goes to Verizon. You take down Verizon, it switches and goes to AT&T. If you take down all three, I tell people, you got other things to worry about. If all three of the carriers are down, you got bigger problems to fight. You now need to be making sure you got enough ammo to get to next week.
Yeah.
Okay? It's time to go rack up your guns at that point.
That's a
That's
serious what if.
Hey, and that's the typical prepper. Most of the preppers out there already get this. Preppers are groups of people who are prepared. They have prepped, and they are stocked up with water and food and ammo and guns and anything to survive off the grid. Nothing wrong with it. I'm a partial prepper myself. Long distance two-way radio equipment. These are radios that they are falling over because they know the value of that. Because not if it goes wrong, when it goes wrong,
When. Right.
they're going to
Right.
be prepared.
Right.
So I shake us up. We're in Black 365 month. I'm shaking us up so we don't fall behind in this. This is not a prepper movement. This is a anybody who has anything that you value moment, because we're living in turbulent times, times that can change like that. Your livelihood could change like that. Ask a couple of federal employees, 1 month to the
Wow.
next, like that. Unheard of. Okay?
Yeah.
We're in turbulent times.
Wow.
So let me say this. This is an amazing tool. Shameless plug, since it is my company and my podcast. I guess I can do kind of what I want to do today, huh?
There you go. There you go. There you
Um,
go. There you
we
go.
are going to take the time to give you guys a brief presentation over this technology and even how to purchase these radios.
Yes.
This is my own company. I've had a company called My Wireless Life for about 8 or 9 years. I've predominantly used it as a consulting business where I consult with the carriers. I do various projects for them. But some of you who go way back with me may remember the name Cascom. It's affectionately the very first wireless business that I ran in my 20s. And I had a full business there in Sandusky, Ohio, selling pagers and cell phones. And the name of that company was Cascom. So I've affectionately named my radio line Cascom. So all of the radios that we offer will come with the name Cascom. They are Cascom and some type of a model number. So
Boy, you
dear
were
and dear my
hustling back
heart.
in the day, huh?
Back in the day,
Hey,
what
yeah, you were hustling,
Cascom,
wasn't you?
Cascom stood for Casting Communication. Cascom. Now, a lot of people, even back in the day, got it confused with Comcast. They was like, oh, you work for Comcast. You know, mess around and flip the name around. It's actually Cascom, but a lot of people thought I was Comcast. Of course, I played it as much as possible. But yeah, I was back in the day
Right.
slanging it, bro. Yeah. I've been out here. I ain't new to this. Let's just say that.
You used to this.
I'm used to this. I'm true to
Hey,
this. Yeah,
right on. Right on.
yeah.
Yeah.
True to this. True to this. So no, we had some really good stuff back in the day, and that was one of the things that launched my career into wireless and has taken care of me and my family for over 30 years. And so I'm
Wow.
always in love with wireless. Will always be about wireless, and this is just a new venture that is near and dear to my heart because two-way radio systems were the first types of wireless that I got into and sold. It was my part-time job when I was in the Air Force. So in the Air Force, I worked
Mm.
second shift, and during the day, I worked for a two-way radio company, and I sold these radio systems to fire and police departments. And so that's what got me into it. And then cellular was born. So the very first thing that I learned about was two-way radio, and then cellular came about after that. And it was those same companies who became early cell phone dealers as well. So I've had a great time. It's been an amazing ride. I'm far from done. This is the next level, and I'm excited about what the technology is doing and what it's continuing to do for people, consumers, and businesses. So, with that said, how about I give you guys a quick little presentation
Let's do it.
of my latest and greatest veteran-owned two-way radio business called My Wireless Life. So let's kick
Get
this
it.
thing
Let's
off and
get it. Let's get it.
take y'all to school here. We're gonna school you on how this thing works. Everybody gonna leave a little bit smarter than you came. How about that? So here we go. I won't bore you long. It's a simple 6-slide presentation. And again, the goal is that you learn something. There will be a quiz when you're done. Just want you guys to know. There's a quiz when you're done. All right, let's see what we got here. About that. All right. I just want to make sure that's moving right. All right, so here we go. My Wireless Life is the name of the company. Once again, connecting you at the speed of sound is our logo. So very excited about that. Website under development as we speak. There's some branding stuff I have under development. So again, we are in pre-launch. I am taking pre-launch orders now. We will officially launch April 1. So again, this is about a system known as the private LTE two-way radio system. We've just gone over what is LTE. It is the 4G part of the cellular network. And this is a private network. The network that you'll be connected to is private. Your voice traffic is encrypted. No one can hear it. No one can hack it. No one can get to it. The only people that will hear you are the people in your group or that you are connected with. And so we'll talk about how all that works. So for starters, let's talk again about what LTE push to talk is about. You're going to keep seeing some acronyms. I'm going to do my best to break that down for you so that it makes sense. So we just talked about LTE. So in other words, 4G cellular push to talk radios. So when you see PTT, that means push
Push
to
to
talk.
talk.
That's the button on the side of the radio. How do you talk on them? Push to talk. On your cell phone, we call that duplex. You don't need to push to talk. The person's talking, you're talking, I'm listening, they're listening. We can do both simultaneously. But in radio systems, you have a button on the side, and therefore it's called a push to talk. So these radios, these radios we're talking about here today, use the cellular network to connect your voice traffic between radio devices. If you bought your kids some walkie talkies, they don't use the cellular network. They go from one walkie talkie to the next. Most of that is about a quarter of a mile distance. If you've got sophisticated equipment, you might get a mile. So that radio equipment only works for short range. We'll see those systems used in retail stores. Calling so and so to the back, aisle pick and clean up on aisle 5. Those radios are used for short range in building, but they won't do you any good if you walk out of a grocery store and go down the street 6 blocks. Radio will be out of range. Okay? Questions?
Yes. So, what does police and fire use? Because
They're
it's
using very sophisticated radios that are using something called a repeater. That means that the radios are not, once again, not talking directly to each other. They're talking to another system that sits high up on a building with a big antenna that allows them to talk to that system, and it repeats their voice. That now extends their range to 50, 60 miles. And so when a police officer is standing there with his radio, talking with the radio mic on the side, that radio talks back to a big base station that amplifies that little radio and makes it talk 60, 70 miles. And then when he
so
gets in the car, he uses his mobile radio, which has
okay.
more power.
Oh, I was gonna say. So if he's talking on the his radio
Portable. It's
and
called a
portable
portable.
portable, if one officer is in Arkansas and another one is in Atlanta, they wouldn't be able to couldn't talk.
That is correct. Their radio
Okay.
systems don't go that far. Their radio systems go as far as their jurisdiction. You're a
Uh,
Dallas cop, your radio system is going to talk throughout Dallas. You
mhm.
an Atlanta cop, your radio system is going to talk in Atlanta.
Got
It
it.
really became a major issue, believe it or not, during 9/11. It was the
Hmm.
first time they found out none of these radio systems talk, and they needed anybody who was willing to help to come to New York. And they all got there with all of these radios that did not talk to each other.
Oh
So there's
wow.
been some new radio systems invented since 9/11 that allow law enforcement, emergency management to all get on a single channel and talk in a catastrophic what if moment. But that did not exist during 9/11. It creates
Amazing,
chaos.
amazing that it took a catastrophe like
There you
that.
go. There you go.
Because I would think that somebody would have been thinking ahead. You
Yeah.
know.
In their states, they did a better job with that, doing local or statewide communication systems. But once they get outside of their states, no. And, it requires a pretty sophisticated radio network that covers a lot of things in order to make that work. But again, they've done a much better job with that since 9/11. And each
Yeah.
state has now been given federal funds to make sure that they've got interoperability within their states.
Yeah, I would think so because with the fires in California,
California,
you had firefighters from Mexico, from Canada, that were coming to LA to help fight the
hmm
fires, and I know they had some type of
yeah,
communication that they were able to speak to everybody in
yeah.
with.
Everybody went back and looked at their blue book, their blueprint, and said, okay, what if? So I would bet money what's happening, especially out there with interjoining states. California is definitely going to be able to talk to Arizona. Why? Because they deal with that all the time. But if you bring a group of firefighters in from Canada, that's
In
pretty way,
Mexico.
and Mexico might be a little different, but they've done a really good job at coordinating frequencies around the country. And Canada being an actual neighboring country, they've probably done some coordination that would bring those guys into an adjacent channel that's been made for collaboration. So everybody has done a better job with that. But don't be shocked. There's still a lot of police departments out there that can't talk beyond their city. Lots. There's 17,000. I sell to these guys. 17,000 police departments in the United States. I bet you, I bet you half, maybe 60% still can't talk outside their jurisdiction.
Oh
Simply
wow.
because they haven't invested the money and have not found a reason to do it, and they all need a what if moment. Yeah, you get a child shooting where I need everybody, all hands on deck. Those are the things that drive them to say, okay, this city needs to be able to talk to this city, which unfortunately they don't spend the money until they have to. Yeah. So we're using something very sophisticated. When we're like, these are great questions because all of a sudden we've now got a portable radio more powerful than law enforcement. Believe it or not, law enforcement
Wow.
is now beginning to use this same technology I'm about to teach you about. They're buying radios that have cellular networks built into them. AT&T launched a service over their network called um, FirstNet that has now been dedicated to law enforcement, and they now provide law enforcement with priority service across the entire AT&T network just to solve for things like this. So AT&T did that about probably 10 years ago now. So they do have a network that they can use. Well, we now have the same capabilities with a consumer device that can do the same thing. And we can use all three networks. Law enforcement gets access to AT&T networks, priority access for those kinds of things. And so this is a very, very powerful solution. Now, most people don't care anything about all that. They just want to know, will it talk? But when you think about what's going on the backside, this is very powerful, especially based on where we came from with how radios work, which again, most people don't care. We are so caught up doing what we do. We don't know how that stuff works and we don't care. But let something happen. Now all of a sudden we trying to get a learning. It don't work like that. Now's the time to learn how things work. Now's the time to learn how you fit in. So a little bit more on this. So again, we're talking about LTE radios. These are radios that have a push to talk button on the side. The reason that they work the way they do is because now, unlike any other time in history, we let these units use the cellular network. And due to that, they are very different than a cell phone. A cell phone requires you to pick it up, dial the person, let it ring, hopefully they answer. Time is that like time is life. Time is life. And so push to talk radios are so powerful because all of that's cut out. I simply push the button and the other person is there. Period. So very different communication. It is not your cell phone. It's not here to replace your cell phone. It's here to be an added product in the event you want to be prepared for if your cell phone is not available. And so the CASCOM radio system provides that communication, provides that connection to all three networks, and does it with a secure channel. No one can hear your voice traffic. Nobody can tap into your voice traffic. No one can even subpoena. I'm here to ensure you, because I worked in this area at T-Mobile. Every cell phone that's out there, anybody who wants, any law enforcement who wants to hear your calls or check your text messages, they simply send in for a subpoena. If a judge provides it, they send that to T-Mobile. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T will give them a wiretap to listen to your calls, to track your text messages. These devices are using a SIM card called IoT. Internet of Things. It's not a phone. It doesn't have a phone number. Therefore, it can't be monitored in that same way. So that's kind of interesting. Secondly, all of the voice traffic when you're on these radios is encrypted. Your radio can hear me and I can hear you, and no one in between can hear us. So it's pretty powerful when you think about it.
Wow.
So
So no one can crack the code and listen to
no
you and I
cracking
talk. Huh?
code. No, sir. This is AES encrypted. It is military spec encrypted practically. It's government for sure. AES is a type of encryption, a type of scrambling, and this is using that. Okay? So very powerful tool for the average consumer who would not know anything about that or could care less. But it's there. Just need to know that it is there. It is a feature that has been built into this network. So let's talk about the devices themselves. So there are two forms of devices that are going to be used in this service. We're using something called the affectionate Cascom P10. This is it kind of looks like a, remember the candy bar cell phones that we used to get from Nokia? This is a device that's going to resemble that, but it is still a push to talk device. It has a push to talk button on the side. It has open radio features that come out. It charges with the same Type C USB charger that you're using, Matt. And it's sleek and kind of goes into the pocket. So for the person that wants a very slim, sleek type phone, this is the device for them.
So it's not as thick as this one.
Ruggedized. hmm Here's the ruggedized device. So the devices, the second device that we're going to be using is going to be the Cascom G9. This is a more ruggedized device. So here's a device with a little bit more oomph in terms of I can drop it. It's designed more for a business where people are going to be checking them out and using them. I've got a delivery service. I've got something where I communicate with technicians. This is going to be a device a little bit more built for them. The other thing that this device uses is this little area that we call a K-type mic and earpiece. We've all seen Secret Service. We've seen law enforcement that has the earpiece and a mic that might go into their hands. This device supports that. So security firms or just anyone who wants to have a more stealth means of communication, you can plug that type of headset into this. So this meets a lot of demand for different types of businesses, or you could have, I have friends who have their event planners. So they're, an event planner is doing a big show, they're talking to the guy bringing in equipment in the back, they're talking to the caterer, they're talking to all these different people on these radio systems. They would be able to use headsets that would allow them to communicate with a lot of people simultaneously.
Hey, question for you. I see it says GPS optional. So if you have GPS capability, is it gonna, that screen that I'm looking at that says Global PT? Is that screen going to have like a map and all that on it?
Yeah, that becomes the software that you would use. So a company, I've got a delivery service. I got 15 guys that run around the city delivering things. I can order the GPS option in this radio. If I order that, then I will get access to an application, Global PTT application on my desktop that will bring up a map and show me where all of my people are at. That's what that does. So that's an option that we activate in the phone, and then you get a login to look and see where your people are at. I'm going to send truck 5 over here because he's already in that neighborhood. Truck 2 is down here. I'm going to dispatch and send him over there because I can see where my people are at based on the GPS radio in this phone.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking the GPS if I wanted to get directions to a location.
Nope.
GPS,
Now
not
you're
that.
looking at dispatching. I'm a dispatcher. And I
Right.
need to know where these devices are at to send people from one
Right.
place to the next.
Gotcha.
It's an option. And again, you can use this device as a consumer or you can use this device as a business. Consumers like this device because it's rugged. I can drop it. Little Johnny can have it in his backpack. I'm not worried about him breaking something. It's ruggedized. It's devised for that. It's easy to tote around. It's still small enough to where it's easy to carry, but it's going to give me a lot more durability than the Cast-On P10. So
Yeah.
two products that we offer, uh, customer choice. One is a little more costly at 175, and the second unit is at 155 with a few less features, but again, designed for any application that you really need. Just depends on how rugged you need the device to be. All right, y'all learning something today. Y'all learning something today. So let's get into this just a little further in terms of making sure you're clear. Why is this different than my cell phone? I got a cell phone. I can call and talk to whoever I want. The first thing that makes it different is the fact that your cell phone, once again, is on one network. This device is on all three networks, has access to all three networks simultaneously. A cell phone makes a call on the network that you pay the bill to. That's it. And if that network is unavailable, then your phone does not work. My radio looks for Verizon. If it's not there, I switch and you don't do anything. The device does it itself. It'll automatically seek out and to connect to the next available cell site and will place that voice call through. And I don't need to do anything other than push the button to talk. I don't dial anybody. I don't have to ring and wait for a call. The person who has a device on the other end hears me instantly, and we're using what we call again push to talk communication to talk in a private network. Once connected over the voice network, that traffic is sent to what we call a POC server. So the way this works is this: your device itself can talk to other devices by connecting to cell sites. So this is just a depiction, the simplest one I could come up with, that shows this is your device, this is my device, and I am connecting to any cell site that is available. And then the traffic is actually sent over to this POC server. What's really happening is it's recording your voice and then sending that recording to the other device. That's what's really happening in the background. But it's happening, in milliseconds. Milliseconds. Just like you and I were talking, all of that is happening in milliseconds. The beauty of this, as we just saw for GPS tracking, we can also have GPS on these devices that give us access to an application on a laptop, and now I can pull up and see these devices and manage who a driver or where a driver might need to go. So that's really more for a business environment, but for our personal environments, I've got a radio, Mama's got a radio. I can connect to the closest cell site. She can connect to the closest cell site. All of our traffic runs back to this server, and within milliseconds, I push that button. I'm talking to her. She pushes the button. She's talking to me. How far does it work? The entire nation, all across the United States. Simple, easy. If you want coverage outside of that, you'll pay
That
an
was the question.
upcharge, and you will then have access to international. Now you're sitting down here in Belize, Mexico, and you're pushing the button, and I'm sitting here in Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever you're at, and that communication comes back to me just as fast as you heard it go from Dallas to Atlanta. Pretty neat, right?
It is.
This is really what it's all about. This is what the Cast-On PTT network does, is connect you into all of those things based on the radios that you're using. Let me do a quick pause. A lot of folks in the chat, and I so appreciate you guys joining. Are there any questions in the chat about what we've talked about here today? Very interesting topic. I think, once again, any of us who think beyond our regular day-to-day environment, this could be a service for you. Let's say you're a small business owner. Let's say you just simply want to be able to connect to certain loved ones and keep those people close to you. All of those things are available with a device like this. Does the GPS option come on the sleek one? Yes, it does. On the P10 device, that is still also an option. Don't see any questions coming in down there. All good, all good, all good. And if you have questions, you're more than welcome to leave them posted, and I'll come back to them later. A lot of people watch us in playback and not necessarily in real time, so no issues. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, now no questions here. So let's talk about what it costs. That's what people want to know. Does it cost? Is it waterproof? The P10 device is waterproof, Donnell. That is what we call IP67. We'll take you back. This device is waterproof. This device is water resistant, meaning you can kind of get water over it, but a P10 device can be submerged and still work. Okay. Good to see you out there, Donnell. Long time, long time. Any other questions?
So Anita asks, does the GPS option come on the sleek one? I thought I saw it. It did.
I
Didn't
just
it?
answered that. It does.
Oh, you did?
The P10 does also support right here GPS.
GPS. Yeah, right.
And once again, understand that's got nothing to do with you using GPS to get home. That's not what this is. That
Right.
is, if you connect it to a dispatching system, they can now see where that device is at. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a two-way radio. This is not a phone.
Yeah. So Anita. So GPS wouldn't even be something that you would need.
Would need it unless you had a catering business or
Yeah.
a delivery business and you want to
Right.
track where your people are at.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's for tracking purposes.
Right.
Any other questions?
Let's see. Nationwide coverage
Oh
with
my
unlimited
God,
talk.
did she just use the word cutest? I'm gonna have a friend on here that's gonna fall out. Somebody who helps me test. And I want you to know I've been doing testing on these various models for months. So I had a female friend, try one of these units out, and the first thing out of her mouth was, "This is cute. Yeah, I like this one because it's the cutest one." And I just shook my head and said, "Really? That's why you would buy it?" She was like, "Yeah, because it's the cutest one."
That's
what
crazy.
Anita just said. So I want.
So I want the cutest one.
Oh my gosh! All this technology I just gave y'all, and you want the cutest.
The cutest one. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
They don't
I
care,
know
long
my
as it's
friend is
cute.
cracking up. I know my friend she is in stitches right now. That's too funny. Too funny.
Somebody just co-signed on us on
Oh,
that
somebody
Zoom.
just co-signed for it. Now I can't never live it down. I'm done. It's gonna be the cute one and the rugged.
I kind of like the slim one too though.
I'm probably gonna carry
I'm
this
not
out.
gonna call it.
I know.
It ain't the cutest one, but I mean,
It's a sleek one. It's gonna be
it's
that
sleek.
sleek
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
gonna go in my
Sleek,
suit.
man.
It's gonna
Right.
go in my
Right.
jacket. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go in my
I put it. Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna just call it something else. No, it's all about that slim line, and I can use both because it just depends on the things that I'm doing. But yeah, sleek is good. It's smooth.
Yeah.
I'm call it smooth. Smooth.
Yeah. There you go.
The smooth. So let's talk about how you price these things out. So it's real simple. And those of us who pay $100 cell phone bills, this is where you're gonna really have a good time with this. So these devices basically have a single rate plan attached to them that gives them coverage throughout a particular area. Coverage nationwide, meaning that's the area that you can travel with this device in, and it will work. When you push the button, it will work. So the devices themselves come with nationwide coverage. The United States, what does that cost? $4.99 per radio per month. You can be anywhere in the United States, talking anywhere in the United States to another radio that's in the United States. Okay? Can't make that no simpler. I can be anywhere in the United States, push that button, and the other radio, as long as they're in the United States, they will hear me. Matt is in Dallas. When I push the button, Matt hears me. When he pushes the button, I hear Matt. Okay? The way in which this works, though, is you are a part of a private network, meaning you will need to put these same radios in the same group in order for them to reach each other. Here's the deal. Matt and I have 2 radios right now, just demo radios. They are in a group. Nobody else can talk to us. Somebody else can buy radios just like it. No one else can talk to us unless they get put into my group. Okay? When you buy these for your family, I'll let you go in a minute. You will buy them and they will be put in a private group. One private group is included when you buy these. You will determine who goes in that group. Go ahead with your question.
Is there a limit to how many people you can have in a group?
200.
Huh?
200. So if you got a family that big, we need to have some other discussion.
You ain't
We
lying.
need to practice some birth control.
Well, hold on. It wouldn't be
That's
me
the
having
family.
200
Oh,
children
you.
there.
Okay, that's right. That's Pookie them and Nene them, and you done went to the family reunion and got your whole family in there.
Yeah, man. Hey, but
200.
but that would be beneficial to cast come though. You know, if I
Oh, I
got
forgot.
200 people to sign on, man, that'd be, you know.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get
But
200
but
because
that
we're gonna do it in
that's a
different
lot.
groups.
But that's a
Yeah,
lot,
that's
man.
one
One
group.
group,
That's
200.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
it's quite a
200.
bit.
So I can put thousands and thousands of people on the system. You're talking about your group that's got 200. I can easily have every time I sell a set of these, that's a group. I plan to sell thousands of these, and there will be thousands of groups with 200 users max. So yeah, do the math. It's
Man,
multiplication. It ain't addition that we're doing here.
yeah.
Okay, so as you buy a unit, you will determine first of all how many. Here's the beauty of this business. You need 2. You can't come to me and say I want one.
Right,
Who are you talking to? You need 2.
right.
Your 2 will be in a group. And then when you come back and say, hey, we want to add somebody, you will add now 3 will be in your group. 4 will be in your group.
Yeah.
5 will be in your group. That group only talks to that group. Okay? So that's the first thing. Every system comes with one private group. One private group. $4.99 per month per radio. And then you can have up to 200 people in your private group. Now, as I built this system out, one of the first things that somebody who was into prepping said is, okay, if I get 10 for my family, and we all can talk. I got people in LA, I got a daughter in college here, I got friend, somebody, whatever. I got 10 people in my private group. What if I go to my car that night and I left my cell phone and I have a flat on the middle of a dark road? Who can I call on my device? If you have just your one private group, nobody. Because your private group, ain't nobody got the radio on, nobody's listening. So I went to solve that by creating public groups. I took the United States, divided it up into quadrants: northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast. When you buy radios wherever you live, there will now be an option to be a part of a
A
public
region.
group,
Yeah.
not a private group. Who's in the public group? Everybody who chooses to be in that geographical area. So southeast, I would carve out the southeast United States, and that would be a region, and that's a public group. Now, if I subscribe for an additional $4.99, now my radios are not only in my private group, but I go to another channel and I have a public group, and I can talk to anyone that's in that public group. That's an option. Some people say, hey, I only want to use these to talk to my family. I don't need to talk to nobody else, whatever, fine. But if you want the option of talking outside of your private group, you can subscribe to public grouping. Public groups, there are 4 of them. I just told you, I divided the country in 4. You can either buy one, or for $10 you can buy all 4 regions. You can be in Northeast, Southeast. All that does is when you dial into that group, you can talk to people in different groups. Your phone was going to work physically by going. It's got nothing to do with coverage now. This is about a group. Think about walking into a room. When you buy the radios, you get your private group. That's your room. Only people you can talk to are the people in that room. If I want to talk to people in a public group, when I go in that other room, they have to be in that room. They have to have subscribed. So these radios work in groups. You automatically get a private group, and if you want access to public groups, that's additional charges. The only other thing that's an additional charge is international coverage. Now we're not talking groups. We're talking about where can this radio go and still work. International coverage is available at $10 per radio per month. When do I need this? The wife and I are going to the Bahamas, and we want to be able to talk back to our kids here. The radios that go to the Bahamas will need to have the $10 add-on. Now when they're in the Bahamas, they'll be able to push the button, because you'll be using the Bohemian networks, cellular networks, and you'll be able to talk back to your kids in the United States.
So the
Or
person
Mexico.
only the person who's in a
Physically
different
there.
country would need the international. The person here in the States wouldn't need it.
Because I've already got coverage in the States. That's correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the other thing is this here.
Mm-hmm.
Does it require a contract?
No.
Do you have to sign up for 6 months, or you just pay $4.99 a month? Monthly.
$99 a month, auto bill. So the only thing that is required is that this is auto bill. We are not sending you a paper bill. You're going to give us a credit card or a debit card, and we're going to auto bill this monthly. That's it. No contract. Quit when you want to quit. Auto bill. So therefore, it's nice and clean.
Do you have a tech support department in the event that I'm having an issue with my
We
my?
will.
Okay.
Tech support and an operations group. So we have engineering support out of China. In the event we really got into something complicated, but
Right.
we'll be running a full tech support team, hopefully 24/7 tech support team here for all U.S. And then we'll have a full escalation team in China.
Wow.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good
See a lot
stuff.
of folks out there that I haven't seen in a while. So, any questions from anybody who has seen this presentation? Hopefully, this is something that fits the what if moment. What if?
It does. It answers
Come on
the
now.
what if moment.
Ooh, man, oh man, oh man. Because you know how much we depend on our cell phone. If you take that
Please.
one thing from me, Lord, what do I do? What? You just stuck. We're just stuck.
Man, you know what? You just said something because, and I'm glad I keep this in my car, but I'm gonna have to do a better. But you know, I can charge it in my car, but oftentimes I have it in my car and I have it in my armrest.
Yeah.
I put it in there fully charged, but after a while, you know,
Leave it on.
the
Yeah.
charge is gone.
It lasts. It lasts about 3-4 days. So it'll-
Yeah, but the thing is, I can still unplug. It uses the same charge that my Android uses. So,
Correct. Yeah.
but you just said something. If you were to leave your phone at home, because I've left my garage and forgot my phone, and I'll turn around and come back and get it. But if my wife has one of these,
Yep.
and I have one,
Yep.
and I drive off, and I leave my phone at home, I can
Yep.
still communicate with her
Bam,
with
push the
this.
button.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the United States. Yeah.
yeah.
Now it's a wonderful tool. And listen, for $5 a month, y'all, you're not even gonna miss $5 a month. $5 a month. What
Wow.
service do you have in your life for $5 a month?
Yeah.
Nothing. Your
Now,
Netflix subscription costs more than that.
hey, now you know what? Donnell asked a great question. Is there an emergency button to reach 911?
No, it would be wonderful, but think about it, Donnell. Donnell's an ex-cop. This is why he's asking this. This is I hate to call him my ex-brother-in-law, but he really is. But I still, that's my brother. So, um, um, it would require integrating into their PSAP. Let me talk to him for a minute. It would require integrating into their PSAP, bro. Or it would require having them post up a device, and there's a base station that could go with this as well. They would need to be monitoring a base station. It'd be great if we could get them to monitor. I could integrate it into their actual station, and they could monitor 911 calls from there. But currently, no, there's no one to talk to other than the people in your private group, or if you subscribe, it would be the people who have all joined the public group. But that's a good question, and hopefully the public groups, should you have a situation, you'd be able to call out. I have an emergency situation. Is anyone there? It's literally going to be an open network, and people will be able to talk and connect and share information. But very similar to those of us who have been around. That now will feel more like a CB radio, where
Yeah.
you now have this open environment. And when you don't, the beauty of this radio is though, when you don't want to deal with that, you will switch groups. When you come out of that group, you don't hear that no more. You're back in your group, and you will talk to just the people in your group, or you will switch groups and you will hear or talk to the people in the public group. Real simple. Let me see if we got any other great questions. Definitely a great question, bro. Um, yeah, I don't see anything else here. Somebody, Nita, you ain't right. She said less than 2 eggs. Girl, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Oh, them eggs ain't no joke these days. Yeah, yeah. P10. So she already placing her order on that P10. I'm placing an order this week, as a matter of fact, probably tomorrow. So we'll make sure that we got P10s on the side for Nita. Good stuff. And so here's the deal. Once again, this is my company that I am launching. Officially launches April 1. We're in promo beta stage right now, so love to have as many people as possible. Check us out. Order units right now. Play with them. Right now, we are in promo pricing in terms of the hardware. The G9 unit, which normally goes for 175, will be going for 155. The P10 Cute device will be going for 135. We're going to just call it the Cute device. Um, and so I am looking forward to hearing from you guys. Like I said, we've got website under development. I'm hoping we're there in the next week, two at the latest. Until then, uh, everybody can reach out to me at the following information. You can either email me directly at tc@mywirelesslife.org, or you can call me direct at 678-462-0414. We are taking orders as we speak, and looking forward to working with you guys. And as you hear more about this technology, please spread the word. You can rest assured that shortly this will become our major sponsor for this podcast. So you're going to see a lot of Cascom branding, as well as we're going to be working on a series of really cool commercials. We were sketching out some commercials that are going to be on TikTok and Instagram for this today. So looking
Yeah.
forward to some of the things that we're going to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good
Hey,
stuff.
I do have a question. Will there possibly in the future be opportunities for employment, such as a sales
Resellers?
rep,
No,
resellers?
resellers?
Yeah,
No.
resellers. Yeah.
I am absolutely looking. I have no intentions to try to do this heavy lifting by myself.
Right.
I will be looking at a reseller channel, and that's where you will basically sign up. And I would so prefer to manage resellers than to have to deal with end users.
Right.
So yes, I just want to kind of get the cobwebs knocked out, make sure my billing systems are working right, make sure I kind of understand the logistics for shipping and all of that stuff right now. Once I've got that worked out, I would see resellers possibly by, mid to late summer, where I can then bring on people who can go out and sell and make money with this. This thing is a hot cake. It's gonna sell itself. I am already getting set up to do events. Dude, I'm gonna be at events at the table, radios in hand, laptop ready to activate. You gonna come to, you name whatever your popular events are, the jazz festival, or whatever, the taste of this, or whatever. We will have tables ready to go, and
Right.
units on site, and just demonstrating live and lighting them up as they happen. The beauty is
Be
I have to.
be like the trade shows we used to go to. Well, we used to work at the
I,
trade shows.
I literally just told my daughter that. I said, listen, how many, and back in the day, I said, how many T-Mobile phones did I sell back in the early days when we used to do that? And just back when people was just buying phones. T-Mobile and them companies don't even fool with that anymore, but we sold
Right.
hundreds of phones,
Yeah.
active, calling them in, getting them activated right then, getting them programmed. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is super simple to program. Like I said, it's easy to get them on site, easy to light people up. Families will walk away talking, ready to go, right there at the table. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very powerful tool. Very powerful.
Wow.
Any other questions? And if you do have some questions, if you're joining us late, feel free to go back and review this presentation. This presentation is about the what if moment, specifically the what if moment with your communication. We all live and die by our cell phones, and I'm asking the question that you don't want asked. What if it's gone? What if it's not there when you need it? Who else can you call, and how can you call them? How many people have a landline phone left in their house?
I
I don't. I bet you
don't.
out of all of my people watching, no one
No one
can
has a
tell me that they
landline.
have that is plugged in the wall, and I can go make a phone call.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know nobody's number if you did have one. I
I
don't.
think I think my mom may be the only
She may.
one who
That's
still
about it.
has a landline.
I think my mom might have had one, and we just ain't went over there and turned it off. Yeah, if at
Mm-hmm.
all. The only other one I know of is I have a great aunt that I take care of, and I pay for hers, and it's in a nursing home. She's the only person
Yeah.
I know with a landline.
Hey man, the landline my mom has, we've had that same phone number since I was
50
two,
years.
probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
50 years.
Yeah. And landlines are almost becoming just as expensive as having a cell phone. They are
They
expensive
are.
now.
Yeah, I pay about $90 a month for my aunt's phone.
Yeah.
90. And
Yeah.
if I didn't love
Expensive.
her, that would not be happening, because we can do that easier on a cell phone. But
I'm trying
people
to tell
that
you.
age ain't trying to, they can't work no cell phone. She need a regular phone to pick up and call you. That's all. She can't do nothing fool with no phone. So yeah, and that is a unregulated or deregulated business that is
Right.
about to be completely cut off.
Yeah.
The regular landline business will be off in the next 2 years. They've already deregulated it, and they're just trying to give people time to convert over to cellular type phones. They got a way that you can patch that into the cellular system, call it POTS replacement. But they got about 2 more years before they shut that off nationwide. Will not work at all. So good stuff. Um, any questions? I know we went a little long today. Hopefully this was really good information. We had some great questions that came from you guys. Um, my contact information is on the screen right now. Feel free to reach out by text, by voice, by email. Any way you need to get to me, get to me. This is the what if moment. And we are being prepared and not basically scared. We ain't got time to be scared. It's about being prepared. In the event we lose communication, how will we communicate with our loved ones? how will we communicate with the people that matter most in those situations? So that will solve that problem for us before it happens. Good stuff. When will they be available? Michelle, they are available right now. You may place your orders today. I am in what's called beta phase, so this is pre-company launch. The company will launch April 1, but we are taking orders for these units today. The system is operational right now. And I will back this up for those of you who might need to see monthly rates again. And down in the bottom is equipment rates. $4.99 a month per radio per month. You need at least 2 radios, and that will put you in your own private group with those radios. And then as you bring on radios, they will be added to your private group. If you have any questions, just give me a call. We can answer any questions you got, I promise. I do this in my sleep. Good hearing from you, Michelle. Good stuff. So hopefully this also sparked some thoughts for you guys outside of yourself. Now that you see what this is about, you might go to work and say, hey, I heard about this system that can do X, Y, and Z. Bring it on. I will definitely find some finder fees opportunities. So those of you who go out and find some opportunities and bring those back, we'll definitely work with you on finder fees. Make sure you get a nice little spiff bringing those deals to us. But there are lots of ways and places that this can be used outside of just your personal use. Definitely got many business applications where what's happened is businesses have traditionally just bought everybody on the team a cell phone because there was nothing else. And did everybody on the team really need a cell phone?
No.
Probably not. But it was the only thing, and we made it sound easy. I sold everybody a phone. But the reality is, a lot of these teams simply needed direct communication. And so now here's a way to save a company money. You paying $50, $50, $50. I'm on the whatever plan. At the end of the day, you paying more than $4.99 a month for a phone. So you can save a company hundreds of dollars per month by reevaluating and determining, do the people I have in the field need a phone or do they need two-way radios? Let the company determine what they need, but if it's simply two-way radios, we got you. Maybe they are in the field and need to call a customer. That's different. This ain't for you, right? But definitely some reevaluations should be happening as this technology becomes a reality. Good stuff. Well, all right, Matt. I don't have anything
Yes, sir.
further. Hopefully we have educated some folks and taught them something new. And
Definitely educated me.
there you go.
Yeah. Yes.
Ain't nothing like learning something new.
Hey, man,
Um,
even at my age, you know?
Hey, if you stop learning, you shouldn't wake up. That's how I feel.
Hey, that's
Stop
right. That's
learning, you
right.
shouldn't wake up. You ain't got no
Yeah,
reason to
yeah,
wake
you
up
need
if you ain't
to
learning.
yeah, you need to be in heaven if you stop
Come
learning.
on, come on now. Everybody can learn
did.
a little something, something.
Yeah.
For
Nah,
sure,
this
for
this
sure.
has been good, man. I think you know, what if?
What if?
That's a
What?
great question, man. You know,
What
what if?
if?
What do you do?
Nobody
How
wants to
how
be
how
there.
you gonna
What
keep
if?
in contact with your loved ones, man? I think this
Yeah,
is really good.
yeah,
And I can
yeah,
guarantee you there are some people who probably didn't know that this even existed because I didn't
yeah.
before you sent this to me.
To the extent,
Now,
yeah,
now, if you would have just showed me this, I would say, "Oh, that's a walkie-talkie."
yeah. That's it.
That's all I've been thinking. It's a walkie-talkie.
Till you see all the
But
power behind it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But to know that we can set these things set them up on a private group
yeah.
and communicate with just the people in that group, man, that is awesome, man.
Good stuff.
That is
I
awesome.
just want to send another shout out to a couple of people who have come in on. Good people are starting to use our YouTube channel. You guys definitely join us on our YouTube channel as well under Conversations with Uncle T. My niece Kosha is in
Okay.
over there, and wanted to say, hey, shout out to you, Coach. Definitely love to talk with you. Sounds like you've already got an opportunity. Coach is all about business, so she already
Yeah.
got an opportunity that she's working on with a group of people around Juneteenth that could use these in a parade in ATL. Absolutely, we could definitely hook them up. So, love to hear from you on that. And so, just get with me and let me know, and I will be glad to make this thing work for you. So, definitely, definitely. Good stuff. Any other questions? Share it on my page. Thanks again, Shell. Appreciate that for sure. Yeah, you guys share this with your friends and family, and share with anybody that'll listen to not only the what if moment, but just the wonderful technology that this is to be used in the right now. You don't need a what if moment to use this by any chance.
Right.
It's just a great tool to have for many businesses of all kinds. And if you can think about any situation where you need point to point communication at a great cost, this is it. This is it. Can't knock this one at all. So
Yeah.
contact information has been given. If you need anything further, reach out to the website. Reach out to this site. Website available hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And definitely more to come. We'll be talking about the solution more, as it will be a key sponsor for the show moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be good, man. I think we're gonna
Yep.
pitch this to, we have the travel business, the
Yeah.
Very Lux Travel. So when people are booking cruises, we can
Yep.
also pitch this here because they'll
Well,
be able
I
to
also
use
have a
these on
second
a
set of
cruise.
radio systems for cruises, so that'll be interesting. This could or could not. It depends. If the cruise offers cellular, this could be a system for that. But a cruise could use what we call UHF two-way radios. This is a second set of radio systems that I do offer because I've taken cruises and used them. So anytime you want to do a cruise and you're looking for communication, because we loved it. My wife and I were able to, honey, you go shopping and do whatever you're doing. I'm way over here. That cruise had Wi-Fi for some astronomical amount of money, and it had no cellular. We were talking the whole time. People were like, "Is that the red?" And these are more professional grade walkie-talkies. Is what I have access to, and that's what you need on a cruise. And it costs you nothing other than owning those radios. So anytime you want to talk about a cruise, we got you covered.
Yeah, that's a good investment for people who go on
Yeah, if you
cruises
cruise
regularly.
often,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's a
And
good
even
investment.
just keeping up with each other when you're on the ground. If you're never going to be
Right.
more than about a mile, and you're never going to be more than a mile or so from your spouse.
That's
They're
right.
perfect. She can go in somewhere shopping, all back up in there, and I can lose her for a minute. Hey, honey, I'm sitting out here by the rubber duck.
Yeah.
Boom. Simple stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
without it, I'm making a freaking international phone call to tell you when you come out of the store, I'm sitting over here by this fountain. That's what you're doing. So two-way radios have a place for that, and I've got great sets of small radios that are very, very powerful for those situations. Yep. If you need it, if it's wireless, Matt, I got it. That's all.
Oh
you
yeah,
need.
no,
I
definitely.
got
I
it.
know.
Got it.
Oh, I know that. You are the wireless guru,
I'm the
man.
wireless guru.
I mean, why would I go to anybody else when it comes to wireless? I mean, I got a big brother that does it all, you know?
Do it all, man. If I don't do it, I know who does. So let's
Yeah.
go. Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
don't nobody do it like you does.
That's right. Like I does. That's right.
Right.
Because it ain't just good, it's gooder.
Right. Gooder.
It's gooder. All right, man, we're going to get out of here, man. I appreciate you all for joining. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for hanging out. Continue to, follow us, give us a shout out, give us some hearts, smileys, and all that other good stuff. And as we like to say, hey, if you can't be good,
Be good at it.
come on now. That's what I'm talking about.
And look, I'm gonna tell. Let me tell our listening audience. I've been waiting to do this.
Uh-huh.
It's been sitting in front of me, and I'm gonna take my first one in front of y'all. How about this right here?
What's that?
Rotel.
Oh, It's like that.
I've been waiting to eat some of this, man, since I walked in the door.
You
But
just
I didn't
said
want
you
to do
was
it in
gonna
front of
have
our.
You said you was gonna have your wife make you a sandwich or something when you got out the car. You was like running in hot.
And I came in here and she had some rotel and chips.
Come on now, that
I
you
mean,
made
a
that
man, a man. Listen, a man work all day long,
and can't.
and he come home to rotel.
Come on now, come on. It's gonna get better.
It's got to, man.
It's gonna get better.
It's got to. Good Lord.
All right, Matty Matt. It's been
Yes,
great
sir.
as usual, man. For sure, for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
To the next one, y'all have an amazing week, an amazing weekend, and we look forward to seeing y'all back here next Thursday, same time.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Be
Y'all
blessed.
have a good one now. Talk to you. Be blessed. All right now. See